Danny spots the tail on his car, but instead of panicking, he stays calm. He turns the music up to full volume, quietly screws a silencer onto his gun, and prepares himself. Moments later, the assassins catch up. Danny waits for the perfect timing, then fires a precise shot. One attacker is hit in the arm, slams into a car, and is thrown off the road. The youngest son claps excitedly, but the chase is far from over. Another killer speeds up and tries to flank them. Just as the man raises his weapon, Danny yanks him off his bike. During the struggle, the assassin knocks Danny's pistol away. That's when the baby suddenly becomes the MVP. He hands Danny a milk bottle. Without hesitation, Danny shoves it straight into the attacker's helmet and sprays him in the face. The kid bursts out laughing. But before they can celebrate, the final assassin charges in. Danny slams his car into him, sending the man flying. After an exhausting day on the road, Danny finally brings his family to Las Vegas. To make up for everything, he books an insanely luxurious presidential suite and treats his wife to a romantic candlelight dinner. Later that night, she returns to the room, sets the mood, and turns on the music only to see a red laser dot suddenly appear on Danny's face. She hears movement outside, but before she can scream, she's grabbed and dragged away. Outside, bullets rain down. Danny throws a wine bottle to distract the shooters and takes out two of them with quick shots. But then he realizes his wife has been captured. With no choice, he drops his weapon. When the kidnappers call him Sean, his wife is stunned. She never imagined her husband had anything to do with killers. After escaping, she rushes to find their kids only to discover the children tricked them and ran off. They finally locate them at a gaming center downstairs. Danny tells the kids the truth. He's a former assassin, and people are hunting him. The kids laugh, because to them, he's the softest, most harmless dad on earth. But when gunshots suddenly echo through the building, they realize he's not joking. Danny tells his wife to hide with the children. He pushes a cart toward the gunman. Thinking someone is inside, the killers unload their magazines. Danny sneaks around from behind and drops them both. With the danger temporarily gone, Danny finally explains everything. His real name is Sean. His mother died young, his father was violent, and at 18 he joined the military. Because of his exceptional performance, he was recruited into the Green Berets and later Delta Force. Eventually, a man named McGray recruited him into a secret program designed to eliminate the world's worst criminals. At first, the mission was legal. But McGray grew greedy, turning them into mercenaries for profit. Sean refused and disappeared. 18 years later, McGray is still hunting him. Now Jessie understands why her husband always avoided cameras, stayed off the grid, and pretended to be weak. Sean shows them fake passports and says everything is ready. They'll start new lives in Vancouver tomorrow. But the kids don't want to live as fugitives. They throw the passports back at him and storm off. Jessie also explodes in anger. She refuses to let the children grow up running from killers. That night, she secretly calls her friend Nikki and asks him to arrange a long trip. The next morning, ignoring Sean's desperate warnings, Jessie takes the three kids, jumps into a taxi, and leaves. Soon, they arrive at a small private airport where Nikki is already waiting with his private jet. While Danny is kissing his wife, a group of street punks secretly take photos, laughing like idiots. Danny notices and calmly asks them to delete the picture. But instead of apologizing, they mock him and upload it online on purpose, even taunting him, asking if there's a tough guy hiding inside him. His wife hopes, just once, that her husband will finally stand up for himself. But that hope quickly dies. In this small town, Danny is famous for being weak and timid. Even after being humiliated like this, he chooses silence. The punks push even further, openly insulting his wife right in front of him. Watching Danny walk away without fighting back leaves her deeply disappointed. Back home, Danny stands under a cold shower, trying to wash away the shame. But while the water cleans his body, it can't erase the frustration in his wife's heart. The next day, she releases her anger at the boxing gym, pounding the punching bag non-stop. Still not satisfied, she accidentally punches her friend Nikki. Instead of getting angry, Nikki listens patiently as Jessie vents. She admits that even though Danny seems cowardly, he's actually a loving husband and a devoted father to their three kids. What she doesn't know is Danny's dark past. The next day, Danny takes his youngest son to the supermarket. The moment he opens a fridge door, a hitman locks onto him. His hidden identity has finally been exposed. Even after years of living quietly, Danny reacts instantly. With one arm protecting his child and the other fighting back, he knocks the assassin to the ground. When the attacker suddenly lunges again and nearly hurts his son, Danny snaps and brutally finishes the fight. He calmly walks out of the store, leaving shocked customers staring in disbelief. Knowing his cover is blown, Danny rushes home, pulling off a wild drift that stuns the neighbors. Inside the house, he cuts open the wall behind the third stairstep and reveals a hidden switch. A secret compartment opens, filled with guns, expired passports, and nearly $1 million in cash. Danny immediately calls an old contact and asks for brand new identities for his entire family. The man is shocked. They haven't spoken in 18 years, and he never expected Danny to still be alive. There's no time to explain. Danny lies to his kids, saying they're going on a fun family trip to Las Vegas, and rushes everyone into the car. But at the parking exit, he spots several hitmen waiting. Luckily, a passing bus blocks their view. Danny escapes in another direction, but seconds later, the killers start chasing again. Realizing his car is being tracked, Danny drives to his auto shop. He traps the assassins outside, lifts the car, finds the tracking device, and secretly plants it onto a coworker's sports car. The coworker speeds onto the highway, unknowingly dragging the enemies far away. With the chase temporarily over, the family finally hits the road. But Danny still isn't relaxed. While crossing a bridge, he throws all their phones into the river, shocking everyone. To him, cutting off all signals is the only way to survive. Meanwhile, the assassin boss McRae breaks into Danny's home. When he sees the family photo, rage fills his eyes. He immediately orders his entire network and hackers to hunt Danny down. Back on the highway, Danny keeps driving with his exhausted family, completely unaware that a dangerous biker gang has already locked onto his trail, and the real nightmare is only just beginning. They had only known each other for a short time. Their relationship wasn't supposed to be this close. But Jessie didn't think too much about it and followed Nikki onto the plane anyway. What she never expected was that the man Danny warned her about, the organization leader named McRae, would show up so quickly. It turns out Nikki had been working with McRae all along. Even worse, she used to be Danny's lover. In that moment, Jessie finally realized how foolish her decision had been. Soon after, McRae calls Danny and delivers a cold ultimatum. If he wants his family to stay alive, he must come to the location that was just sent to his phone, with his family's lives on the line. Danny has no choice. He drives straight to an abandoned Poseidon Casino hotel. Waiting for him outside is a familiar bald henchman. The building looks broken and abandoned on the outside, but inside it's been fully renovated into a luxurious secret base. Danny is escorted to the top floor. When he sees Nikki, he's clearly surprised. Then McRae steps forward and drops the biggest bombshell of all. McRae is Danny's real father. All this time, he's been hunting Danny down for one reason: to force him back into the organization and make him work again. If Danny refuses, McRae threatens to kill his wife and children. Danny knows his father is capable of anything. Left with no other option, he pretends to agree. Satisfied, McRae orders his men to take Danny's family to the airport. But the story doesn't end there. Danny's daughter refuses to abandon her father. She convinces her mom that they need to fight back and rescue him. To buy time, Kyle starts randomly pressing elevator buttons, forcing it to stop on every floor. The guard standing with them feels awkward as the family openly discusses their escape plan right in front of him. Suddenly, Jessie smells something awful. She pretends to change the baby's diaper, then slaps the dirty diaper straight onto the guard's face and shoves him out of the elevator. Without hesitation, Jessie and the kids rush back toward Danny. Downstairs, McRae senses something is wrong. His man isn't answering calls. At the same time, Danny sees on a drone camera that more assassins are moving back into the building. He hands the drone controls to his son and launches a surprise attack. An explosion echoes through the casino, and the real fight begins. Kyle uses the drone to scout enemy positions, while Danny moves through the building like a shadow, taking down one attacker after another. Seeing this, McRae orders Nikki to head to the rooftop and retrieve the drone. Jessie immediately positions herself at the elevator with a gun. The doors open, and she fires everything she has. When the magazine runs dry, the two women are forced into hand-to-hand combat. Jessie has boxing experience, but Nikki is far more skilled. Jessie is knocked down and nearly defeated, but she refuses to give up. She notices a long pole nearby during the struggle. Remembering her training, she grabs it, stands up, and launches one final desperate attack. This time, it works. Meanwhile, Danny finishes off the remaining guards and finally faces McRae. Despite everything, his father is still dangerous. Danny is thrown aside, and McRae picks up a gun, preparing to end it. That's when Danny's daughter runs in and distracts him with emotional words about family and forgiveness. While McGray hesitates, Danny takes his chance and stops him. In the end, McGray is arrested and sent to prison. With the nightmare finally over, Danny and his family walk away from the chaos and begin a new life, free, safe, and together at last. The movie ends here. Thanks for your watching. Leave your comments below and don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like to help the channel out.